Title: At dinner with her friend, my wife said, "I wish my husband had half the stamina of my ex. He actually knew how to use his Johnson." Then she giggled and added, "Honestly, he couldn't even satisfy a blow-up doll." I heard the laugh before I heard the words. A light, careless thing, like the sound of glass cracking before it shatters. "I wish my husband had half the stamina of my ex," she said. Then came the giggle, the kind that used to melt me once. "He actually knew how to use his Johnson. Honestly, my husband couldn't even satisfy a blow-up doll." Laughter rippled through the table. And then silence, because she'd turned and seen me standing there. Her face froze, half grin, half terror. The color drained from her cheeks as her friend's fork clinked against a wine glass. "Oh, honey," she stammered, "it was just a joke." "Yeah," I said, voice flat, "I'll bet." That was the moment she realized something inside me had gone quiet. Not angry, not broken, just quiet. We'd been married 9 years. 9 years of her soft hand tracing my jaw every morning. 9 years of Sunday breakfasts, her in my shirt, coffee steam curling around her hair. I believed in us. Believed in the version of her who used to look at me like I was enough. Maybe that's what hurt most. The realization that somewhere along the line, I'd become her punchline. The first time I suspected something was off, it wasn't about sex. It was about silence. She stopped saying my name the same way. She started guarding her phone like it contained nuclear codes. When she laughed, it wasn't with me anymore. It was at something on her screen. Or someone. Still, I tried to ignore it, told myself I was paranoid. Until the night I saw the messages. "Wish you were here," she wrote to him. "He's asleep." Followed by a photo I can't unsee. It's funny how pain doesn't explode. It just seeps, like a slow leak under your ribs. That night I didn't confront her. I just sat there, breathing through the ache, until my heartbeat slowed. And then I started planning. People think revenge is impulsive, emotional. They're wrong. Revenge is math. I began with observation, her passwords, her accounts, her patterns. The man's name was Derek. He worked with her, divorced, a salesman with a self-proclaimed alpha energy. I made copies of everything, messages, photos, even recordings from our home smart system. Every whisper, every moan that wasn't meant for me. I learned her rhythms, when she left work early, when she visited her sister, when she smiled for no reason after checking her phone. Then I started repositioning pieces. Quietly, I shifted our finances, moved savings into a separate account under a business name I'd set up months earlier, closed the joint credit line. She didn't notice. She was too busy texting him beneath the dinner table. I waited 6 weeks, long enough for my anger to turn into focus. Then I set the stage. Her best friend, Carla, was throwing a dinner party. Wine, candles, soft jazz, the usual attempt at sophistication. I was busy with work, she told them, but I showed up anyway. I arrived early, calm, polite. I handed Carla a bottle of wine and took a seat at the far end of the table. I could feel her eyes on me, confused, maybe nervous. Then came the joke, her little performance. And here we were. When the silence hit, I let it breathe. I watched her face collapse under the weight of her own words. Then I smiled. Small, patient. "Funny," I said. "You always said honesty was the foundation of love." No one moved. Carla's husband cleared his throat. Someone coughed. I reached into my jacket and placed a small black USB drive on the table. "This," I said, "is a collection of truths. Yours, mostly." Her eyes widened. "I've already filed for divorce," I continued. "You'll find the papers in your inbox by morning, along with copies of your messages forwarded to HR. You remember company policy about inter-office relationships, right? She tried to speak, but her voice cracked. You, you wouldn't? I did, I said. I stood, calm, my heart steady. Here's the thing about betrayal, I said, looking at her, not angry but cold. It doesn't kill you, it educates you. She reached out, as if she could still touch me, still fix something. Please, but I was already walking out. The fallout was spectacular in its silence. Her job gone within the week. Darrett transferred. Rumor had it, after his wife found out, he didn't have much left to his name either. She called, then texted, then begged. But the man she knew, the one who waited for her laughter to come back home, was gone. I didn't respond, not once. Instead, I watched the life she'd built on mockery crumble under its own weight. You'd think I'd feel triumphant. I didn't. What I felt was peace. Because revenge isn't about rage. It's about closure. About giving the truth enough room to speak for itself. The last time I saw her was at the courthouse. She looked smaller somehow, like someone had taken her arrogance and drained it out through her eyes. She tried one last time. I didn't mean it, she whispered. That night, it was just a joke, I finished for her. Yeah, I remember. I signed the papers and walked out into the sun. The air felt sharp, clean. I didn't look back. Some nights, when the wind cuts through the house, I think about that dinner table. The candlelight, her laugh, the moment silence swallowed the room. People say revenge changes you. Maybe it does. But for me, it was the first honest thing I'd done in years. She used to say I couldn't satisfy a blow-up doll. She was right. I'm not built to inflate things that were empty to begin with. And that night, when she realized what I'd done, when her face froze in that perfect, exquisite horror, that's when I finally felt it. Satisfaction.